just to start off before the break announcement, we do want to talk about the Stephen Penner Award. Stephen Penner is an alumni at Hart, and he was a very, very kind and influential figure in making sure that the debate community was accessible and inclusive to a wide range of people. And so just before we get started with the break announcement, we want to watch a short video commemorating his legacy, and then we will award this year's Stephen Penner Award winner. I just said this. So I will move to the next slide.
For 7 hours in the band. Steve never made anyone opposite him feel like they were any less equipped or intelligent or knowledgeable than he was, but still managed to communicate insights, revelations about the world and about things related to it or not related to it at all that were life-changing. Was the one who, in the very core of what he communicated to us, was interested in passing on the legacy for himself and in educating a group of students in the ways that make it useful not just in an academic setting, but also in equipping themselves with tools necessary for life.
We have knowledge of writing topics. He has a great presence in data. So, simply for his own data, he made a significant contribution to the community. Everyone knows about because he's also an invaluable member of our club, and also an invaluable member of the community more broadly. He's, very close friends and very hard to communicate. I'd like to say that I believe that either I and other people who have the privilege of being within the club would have had success in order to do.
When Steve passed away, there was a kind of celebration as well for Steve at the Duke of York, where a bunch of debaters came. There must have been like 60 or 70 debaters there, and all of them talking about the ways in which we appreciate Steve and miss him. And there was a younger kid that came, us at least just by sight, really recognized right away, and it was a debater that Steve had coached at UCC, who ended up telling a story about Steve standing up for some kids that were facing bullying and some other stories like this that and none of us would do, and Steve never really talked about it or been showing it, but it's just these kinds of things that accumulated in terms of mentorship that really had him stand out. He was an excellent debater, so he could teach debate very well, but it was more the kind of kindness for others that we really appreciated.
There's a lot of things in our circuit, in America and in BB, with North America generally. We all take for granted that folks like Stephen Penner and Stephen Penner in particular fought tooth and nail in order to institute as norms. He was the first cadre of debaters in clout and prestige and power to changes, who was absolutely intolerant of the presence of users, the presence of harassers, the presence of especially men in positions of influence wielding against women in the circuit in ways that were unethical and cruel. Stephen Penner was one of the folks that absolutely had no tolerance for any previous standards that I hope in the time since has continued to get better and better.
He was an absolutely essential part of institutional memory for Canadian debating, with CA tournaments and judge tournaments, long past what the usual expectations were for someone to do that, as a constant source of advice for people who were trying to organize tournaments or who were doing chief adjudication for the first time.
So competition, and all these things involved. He was an actual group judges, he was training judges, his contribution to the discussion of motions was always valuable. And he was always a great person to have around when we were in the midst of a tournament where unpredictable things are a given. He was always confident in how to deal with that situation that they wrote, and everyone was very appreciative of all for the idea. He had an incredible way of instilling confidence into members of the club. When I did it, he insisted that I do first, and eventually this is what I call from a barrel. That's certainly not a rare to have from willing to take a back seat like that. It just was reflective of who he was. It wasn't again about how long he was.
It was hard to feel if you weren't succeeding immediately, even as a novice, that it's like you belonged both socially and in terms of just broader pressure. And Steve took it upon himself to interact with the novices that weren't doing as well, offering advice, judging rounds. It might not seem like that big of a deal, but being willing to judge the practice round that had all the not very good novice players was, as you might imagine, not a service that many of the pros were keen to sign up for.
Or giving more giving novice a chance to develop. And that's just one example of man spending time his willingness to take time away from his answer questions that younger members of the club asked, with their data, his detailed feedback to practice to put other members of the club for himself.
Practice that sometimes has us enter this gross, or a competition that demands that at times we treat one another as obstacles to the thing we want to pursue. I think Steve evidenced and really led by example in making sure to remember that you're here also to chat with people in the party afterwards, who are there to help lift each other up, continue to have, weird fun with our rights of 7 hours talking about things that you otherwise would never broach with different communities. Steve asked every person that he interacted with to brief for it at great length in the world, which is just putting first that decency, putting first that empathy. Relationships inform for him the standard that should be extended to others too, which is that it's people first.
Many of his friends were questioning why he was still involved in dating. Steve felt an obligation to give back, an obligation to ensure that the activity persisted without him. This activity exists because people make it exist, right? Tournaments are run because people run tournaments. These traditions that we have, the value we achieve, don't happen without people making significant efforts to have it occur. Very much in the spirit of what this award is intended, in that they give back to the debating community, that there's a degree of service, dedication to an activity that hopefully we all love. One of the things that I hope this award continues to emphasize, and that is the idea that Steve was essential in that process, and that the activity needs people like him now, and hopefully there are still those out there who think about the activity in the way that Steve did and want to get back into it.
Penner Award more than anyone I know. While they've certainly put in countless hours running small and large tournaments, the heart of their contributions to this community lies in the countless more hours they spent making debate feel like a welcoming space to young, budding debaters. They were a reliable, friendly face that formed the basis for friendships and community building. They were the judge that will always judge the novice room nobody else wanted to judge. And they stayed late to give feedback, and they were the mentor that always organized informal hangouts after practice and stood out till midnight and made sure all the novices got back home safely. They showed up when nobody else would, and especially when it mattered. And despite being incredibly busy, they stayed an extra year to help with novice development in our club. It's unquestionable that they carried on Stephen Penner's spirit in making debate a welcoming space, and that's why I'm so glad this year's award is going to Isabel Wong.
Next one. Ayal, Anders, Arshad, Audrey, Ayal, Bill, Kate, Karen, Chris, David, Tejas, Emily, Ethan, Fiona, Glenn, Hamza, Jacob, John, Josephine, Lily, Matt, Nick, Maya, Parker, Patri, Pranav, Robert, Rose, me, Salim, Simon, Tanay, Tejas, Ronaish, Brenden.
Breaking first, we have Chicago West Atlanta Moose. From second, PE 1.5 Chinese. Breaking third, HHDC. Fourth, fifth for Cornelli. Breaking sixth, Bilal. Sarenna, you know what it is, and bringing Stanford is here. Reserve break, we have Bartley and HHIV. For the open break.
All right, everyone, I will announce the first 8 open breaking teams. So, breaking first on 19 points at 813 senior points we have Stanford LB. Breaking second on 16 points at 819. Breaking third on 16 points at 806 senior points we have Wait for it. And ranking fifth on HHDC points at 798 speaker points, we have Stanford BJ. Ranking sixth on 17 team points at 801 speaker points, we have HHDC. Ranking seventh on 17 team points and also 794 speaker points, we have Capybara and ranking eighth on 16 team points and 799 speaker points, we have Yale PR.
Ranking 9 on 16 team points and 790 speaker points, we have Chicago. On 16 team points and 787 speaker points, we have Woodruff. And 796 speaker points, we have Proverbs 16. Breaking 12 on 15 team points and 793 speaker points, we have UBC. Breaking 13 on 15 team points and 790 speaker points, we have ES. Breaking 14 on 16 team points and 787 speaker points, we have points and 783 speaker points, we have Yale Showcase Girls. Ranking 16 on 15 team points and 780 speaker points, we the first reserve team on 15 team points and 780 speaker points is Cornell XP. And our second reserve ranking team on 15 team points and 779 speaker points is Chicago Western Canada.
Kind of popping off.
Up next, we have the Judge Awards.
Judge Awards. How exciting. So, we have two categories. We will have a category for institution judges, where we're doing 5 judges for the Judge Awards, and a category for IAs, we will have 3 categories. Opens have class and you need to come up. So non-opens have class and non-opens will come up for class because opens don't care about the class. They have tons of students anyway already on their wall. So top of the we'd like to thank all of our amazing audience, of course. Top 5 non-open judges are
Okay, you will now do the Novice Speaking Awards.
I'm gonna even show you your speakers.
With an average of 77.8 is Emily. The fourth speaking novice speaker with an average of 78 is Clara Hill. Also featured in the tie for second is another speaker with an average of 78. Samantha. And your last, second novice speaker, also with an average of 78, is Chris Todd. And finally, the top speaking novice speaker with a whopping average of 79 is Victoria.
Announcing your top 10 open speakers. So, your 10th open speaker is, I'm scared, the Tejas! Your 9th open speaker on 403 speaker points is Jamila! Also tied for 6th on 403 speaker points, we have Anna. Also tied for 6th on 403 speaker points, we have Arshad. Next, tied for 4th with 404 speaker points, we have Next, tied for 4 speaker points. Next, tied for 4th speaker on 404. 408 speaker points. Yeah. On the tiebreaker